Hey guys, what's up? I'm Richard Beck, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about shop air. How to get clean and dry shop air. So, forgive the shop, it's quite a mess. I've been really busy, and when I get busy, things get messy. So, I've seen these quite often on YouTube. This is clearly not an original idea, but I was skeptical at first. I understand the science. I realize, when you cool the air, you'll separate the moisture and it will condensate. But my worry was that the velocity would just continue to pull that, moisture that built up on the tubes. I was worried that moisture would get sucked along and just blown out because of the velocity of the air going through the tubes. So I decided to make sure mine didn't do that. I was going to use large tubing. I've seen a lot of guys build these out of quarter inch half inch tubing, 3/8, which might work. I don't know, but I can tell you this 1-inch tubing, it works way better than I ever imagined it would. Now I'm going to get you some close-ups here. I've got some photos of the process, and I'm going to show you exactly what I did in all the different locations. For starters, I don't even think there's any pressure in the tank right now. I've got about 3 psi because it's not running. So I'm going to crack the bottom of these for you guys, and we'll take a look at if there is any moisture. We're going to drain the moisture. I'm going to run the air compressor so that way it comes up to full pressure, and in just that short amount of time, we will probably take even more moisture out of the lines. Also, over here on my CNC plasma table, because I wasn't sure how well that was going to work, I went ahead and I purchased 2 of these guys. These are made by SMC. We have a water separator and a fine mist separator. This guy here removes moisture, and this one removes it down to 0.01 microns. This guy here can remove not only mist, but aerosol, vapor, moisture, and like crazy fine particles. So I've been running these guys for a super long time, and there has never been any moisture in them at all, like 0. So I've been running this system for about a month, and I keep checking these, and they've never gotten any moisture. So literally, that thing over there is pulling all the moisture out to the point where these are not collecting any moisture at all. Now, these might be catching like fine particles, which that's what they're here for, because on a CNC plasma table, you really need dry and clean air. If you're mixing, fine, heavy metal dust, that's super fine, that's going to change a lot of things in the torch. It could damage the torch. It really burns up your consumables a lot faster. And so in order to get the most out of your CNC table, this is a Crossfire Pro made by Langmuir Systems. In order to get the most out of your system, you really need clean and dry air. So let's go crack the valves over there and see if there's any moisture in the lines. Then I'm going to run the compressor, get it up to temp, and we'll check it again. Okay, so that's how I have this set up. Some people just have a T right here, but I wanted the air to flow here and kind of crash and have a little bit of turbulence, so that way it would go back up here, because I wanted the water to like kind of fall out. And maybe that doesn't do any difference. Maybe it makes no difference. Maybe you could just have a T here, but I wanted a hard corner. The air comes in this way and goes out that way. So then I've got these little shut-off valves. You can have the ones with the knobs, but honestly these work way better. And you can see I need to put something on the wall because the moisture when I open these up, that's not good. But so I don't know if you saw it on the camera, but a lot of moisture came out right there. And I mean, it's wet. So we got some out of there. Now, in a perfect world, you'd have a better way. And I noticed a big difference from there, and there, as far as less and less moisture. So is what I'm doing, I'm coming in from the top, because as soon as the air goes from the little tubing into the big tubing, your velocity slows down dramatically. So we have a 4x change. We got 1/4 inch, and then we're going to 1 inch. So the air is going a lot faster, and then all of a sudden it slows down. It's almost like a miniature tank, you know? So if I can slow the velocity down, it allows less of the moisture to be ripped off of the walls and flushed through the system, right? So I want the air to slow down. Now, it is gonna cost you a decent amount more, but also these larger tubes have much greater surface area, so you don't need as big of a system, okay? This, tubing here is gonna have, a lot more surface area than a small tube. So that because of that, I'm not as large. I will get some actual dimensions on that soon, but let's go ahead and fire up the compressor. I'm gonna stop the video because it's loud and there's no point in staring at this for 3 minutes. All right, so we are up to 150 PSI. That took a couple minutes. Also, if you are interested in a compressor, check out this Porter Cable model. I got it at I got it at Tractor Supply. I don't know if there's a model number down here. Nope. Don't know where the model number is, but there's the specs. This thing, I have loved this thing, and it was really inexpensive compared to a lot of other 60-gallon compressors. I think this was like just over $400 at Tractor Supply. It was probably on sale because I almost always buy stuff like that on sale. But sorry, back to the thing. So I love that. It's been running. This is only one cycle. Let's crack these again. So I don't know if you saw how much water that was. That was literally from a single from going to 0 PSI to 150 PSI. It took that much moisture out of the air. That was the first one. Second one. And look at that. There was basically almost no moisture in the third one. So these first two caught most of it. We hit the third one, we'll hit the fourth one. Now, there was a little bit in the fourth one. Maybe I didn't crack that. And when I cracked these before, at the beginning of this video, it was at like 2 or 3 PSI. So I think there is some value to cracking these open at high pressure, because that gives a massive rush of high velocity air to kind of clean the pipes out. So now, hey, by the way, if you're gonna do this and you're getting any value out of this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. I wanted to quick throw that out there before this video goes too long, because a lot of people drop off in about 4 minutes. It's just the average, retention of a video. So please give me a thumbs up. It really helps make this kind of stuff possible. As far as making this possible, this ran me about $250. So everybody always says, oh, this is so cheap. It's so cheap. It's not. For me, $250 is a lot, So for me, that wasn't that cheap. But the biggest cost driver was I use 1 inch tube. That counts up way faster. And the fittings, of course, they're also 1 inch. And then these guys here, part of me thinks they were, I don't know, if I remember correctly, in the low teens, So if these are $12 a piece, and there's 4 of them. As far as size, it's 56 inches by 26 inches overall. And that's to the bottom, to the top, from the edge to the edge. So these are about 47 inches long, each one of those. You could buy 48-inch pieces, but you're going to save a lot of money if you buy the long pieces and cut them down to size. At the top, so you can see, I'm just doing a couple reducers to get into this size here. Now, I soldered all of this. That's going to be maybe a limiting factor for some of you guys who've never soldered tubing, but this is maybe a great time to learn, At least here, if you have a bad joint and it leaks, it's not as bad as when you do this on water pipes, and then you have to cut stuff all apart, because once there's water inside a pipe for house plumbing, you can't heat it up enough to get it undone. So this is probably a great time or a great project to learn how to solder. There's other videos online as far as how to solder, but that is the same as this. It's just pointing straight up, because I was going to go up into the attic. And once again, start at the top. That way you can drain your first line. Some guys start at the middle And then, you know, you have copper where it's going to get condensation inside the tubing, and then it's where's it going to go? Just puddle, and then just every now and again just flush in there. So start at the top at your copper, and then end at the top. That way, you know, when I go inside, this may drain down, and then we can crack the valves when we come back out next time. So I really encourage you, if you guys run air tools, if you do painting, if you have a CNC plasma cutter, if you just have a normal handheld plasma cutter, this is worth every penny. Those units over there run between $60 and $100 each. And so far, I wouldn't even have needed them. Now, I still like having those for dust, you know, and fine aerosols like, you know, heavy metal dust from like welding. It looks like it's just fumes, but that stuff could change, like, I don't know, the current inside the torch and cause it to function differently. Anyway, everything I've ever heard says if you want your consumables to last a long time, you need clean, dry air. And I found that to be true. When I first started running this table, I was using no filtration at all, and I was burning through consumables really fast. And I've noticed a big improvement in consumable life on my table since I added that. So I don't think there's anything else to add. Oh, hey, some of you guys may have noticed a little sneak peek at what's to come on Beck's Armory. You might know what these are, but some supporting equipment will be arriving very shortly that will allow us to use these guys. I'm excited about that. I've been wanting to do that. Probably 15 years I've wanted to get a TIG welder. So I was like overjoyed today. Christmas Day 2020. That's all I got for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who have shops and need this. You got to get that. If you don't have it yet, take the time, invest in it. Find a buddy who can solder if you need to, but this is going to be huge game changer for your shop.